Does my eye look like I'm crying? This is pure onion life. So for this dish, you will need some onion, some garlic, some kale, some tomato, and some salt. I use sea salt. You can use whichever one you want. Some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil is always good. So you've got your onion going there. You're gonna add some oil. I don't measure anything, so you can just eyeball it or measure. So it looks like all of the onion is about covered with some oil, and we're gonna turn the oven on. I mean the stove on. We're gonna put it on medium heat, cover and let it cook for a little bit. Stay tuned. So you pretty much have some onion cooking. And I'm just going to add the garlic so that it can cook together. And I'm gonna cover it and let it cook. So now the onion is cooking. You see that it's become somewhat translucent. And you just want to keep stirring. And at this point I would just add some tomato. Beautiful tomatoes. So I just used 2 tomatoes for 5 bunches of kale. So a chopped onion, about 8 garlic cloves, 2 tomatoes, and it's gonna be about 5 bunches of kale. So you're gonna mix that, and then you're gonna go ahead and cover it and let it cook. And at this point, I'll reduce the heat just slightly. So now the onion and the tomatoes are cooking really well together. All right, we're gonna give it a few more minutes. But almost ready. It smells so good, so delicious. Do you see all of the oil that has now surfaced? So you basically want the oil to surface. That's how you know that your onion and tomato and garlic is cooked really well together. So at this point, you're just gonna add your kale. And I usually just like push it in there because we've used lots of onion and tomato, so there's enough onion and tomato under there. And you know, as kale cooks, it's gonna become super, super tiny in terms of the portion. So I think it's very important to use enough kale. And I kind of just go under and push out. So under and push, under and push. So once you mix it and you see all of the onion and the tomato up here, you're just going to cover it and let it cook for a few minutes. So it's cooking. If you see the color is changing, it's turning like dark green, but you want it to be like super dark green. So you cook it until it's super dark green. So this color is pretty dark, and that's how you know that it's fully cooked. And you can just turn it off and let it sit in here for a while before serving. So the last step before you take it out is just add some salt. I'm gonna add a tiny bit more. I think that's good. And then you just want to make sure you mix really well. So you are all set. You have a delicious kale dish. Yummy. Delicious. Highly recommend. Highly, highly, highly recommend this. So delicious. This kale dish is super easy to make. Ingredients are again onion, tomato, some garlic, and some kale. About 4 to 5 bunches depending on how many people there are. This will easily feed about 4 people for dinner. I usually try and make kale with maybe some rice, some quinoa, any kind of protein. I usually use like lentils or beans, for my protein. You can also use some fish or some chicken. If you like steak, that's also an option. But this could definitely be an easy, vegetable dish. Can be eaten with all of those things. And some bread as well would be delicious with this. If you are Ethiopian like me, you can eat it with some injera. It's delicious with injera. It's just like gomen. Or you can eat it with any kind of curry. So on my next video, I'll make some fish curry that will go great with this kale dish, so you can pair it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.